Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Snatched, Amy Schumer's new film. There are major spoilers for the movie in this review. So I saw Snatched on Thursday night on its opening night. I will admit, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go see Snatched. I was like, I really want to see a movie tonight. That happens a lot with me, where I'm just like, okay, had a tough day, or I want to kind of spin down for something, so I'm going to go see a movie. And I'm a fan of Amy Schumer's. I think she's one of the top 3 female comics working today. And I was a fan of her show, and I think it's really important that she had her show, right? Her show was kind of important because there really aren't that many female-led television, definitely not female-led skit shows. It's the only one I can even think of, right? Amanda Bynes may have led one a long time ago, but it was really interesting. So one, I like this movie. I think it was a 4 out of 5 star movie, but not because of Amy Schumer's work in it. I think, if it had just had Amy Schumer in it, it would have been a 3 out of 5 star movie. I think she did a great job in this movie, and I think she's really growing as an actress and as a comedian, and as a movie star, right? But one of the things that I will credit her with is I think this movie was very carefully chosen. She chose to do this movie. I do think that Amy Schumer at this point is choosing what to do and not to do. I'm sure there's roles that she's trying to get that she might not be landing. But I really think it's, what she's doing is really important. And I'm really kind of in her corner. I want to see her grow, continue to grow as an actress, as a movie star, as a comedian. And I think Snatched is really an important step on that journey. So I thought that the person who absolutely stole the show for Snatched was Joan Cusack. So Joan Cusack just did a fantastic job in this. So I'll just say the story really quickly. So Amy Schumer is going down to Ecuador with her boyfriend. She breaks up with her boyfriend right before this non-refundable trip. And then she needs to find somebody to go to Ecuador with, right? So she has to go with her mom because none of her friends will go with her, right? And she, in the beginning, is really kind of painted as not a nice person, like a person who's not super nice. And so the movie just kind of goes into it from there. And so she goes on this tour with her mom to Ecuador, and her mom is like, this is going to be horribly dangerous. We're going to be kidnapped by drug dealers. And Amy, Schumer gives her like the millennial eye roll, and like, ugh, mom. And then her mom turns out to be 100% right, which is very funny, right? There's a lot of great comedians in here. There's a talented comedian from Broad City. I'm a big fan of Broad City. It's one of my favorite sitcoms that is dual female led, right? And so Amy Schumer, really did a good job in this. But Joan Cusack and Wanda Sykes play a couple who are on vacation in Ecuador. And Joan Cusack is an ex-CIA, right? Ex-special forces, right? And like Wanda said, not regular forces, special forces, right? Which I thought was really, really funny. And Wanda Sykes is very good in this. Wanda Sykes and Joan Cusack, they just really, really click. They're really, really funny. And Joan Cusack kind of plays like this commando. And she was in Special Forces, and she saw all this major stuff. So much stuff that she cut her tongue out, right? Which is really funny. And so Joan Cusack steals the show in this movie and never speaks a single word. And I was blown away by that. I was just like, wow, that's crazy. So they really are just really tremendously good in this. By the way, I'm just going to talk about the numbers for a minute. So it came out this weekend. It made $17 million, but it had a budget of $42. Now, $17 million out of $42, you're talking like, 40%, right? which is fine. I think this movie's going to make its money back. It's questionable if it's going to be a commercial success. Now, I think Amy Schumer is a special case, and I think she's going to have some leeway in her movies not performing commercially. She's still going to be able to get out there and make some movies, I think, right? So it'll be interesting. Also, on some of these films, sometimes they'll blow up afterwards, particularly if there's a misstep on some of the blockbusters that are coming out. So if there are blockbusters that are coming out and they don't do well, or actually they're not good movies and people aren't seeing them and re-seeing them, there might be a window where Snatched could spike up. Last year, Bad Moms, I think it was it was kind of a blow-up hit, made over $100 million. Not a lot of people were expecting it to do well, but it did, right? So Snatched was, I would really say, with all the people who are in it, it's just so funny. Goldie Hawn, absolutely perfectly cast in this film. Does a great job. Really, this is a really just funny, unique movie. Now, I think it's interesting. This movie is in a special zone. So this movie specifically is one of these movies that it's in that Judd Apatow space where its humor is very Judd Apatow-like, but it is one of these things where True Lies was the first of these films, these combination films. True Lies was a action film that had enough content and was self-aware enough to appeal to female viewers as well as male viewers. And it really opened the market for specific genre films that don't play well on the other side of the gender line to play well. So this is, in some ways, kind of it's an actioner a little bit. It's a very light actioner. It is a rated R film, by the way. It's a very, very light actioner. And then also it's got a good bit of crude humor from the language perspective, and it also has a little bit of it definitely has a really strong gross out scene and humor, just like it's all the boxes you would check on a Judd Apatow film. But Amy Schumer is really putting her own mark on this film, and I think it was quite good. It's a really unusual film. Its numbers were not tremendous on week one. It'll be interesting to see where this thing lands. I definitely, so if you're a fan of Judd Apatow's type of film, or if you're an Amy Schumer fan, I think this is a good movie and you should go see it. Joan Cusack is a really nice surprise in this movie. She's a talented actress. I've enjoyed her for many years. I wish she was cast in more things. I also really want to suggest checking out Series of Unfortunate Events. She does a cameo role in Series of Unfortunate Events that is fantastic. She's got a lot of heart, brings a lot to the table, and I'm excited that Amy Schumer got to work with Joan Cusack, because I wouldn't be surprised if Amy Schumer really kind of ups her game and becomes even better at what she does by kind of being sharpened by these other comedians, particularly Wanda Sykes, and then hopefully some of the acting prowess of Joan Cusack is going to rub off. I think Joan Cusack really, I think she taught things to her brother, and she picked some things up from her brother. Joan Cusack is the real tree of this film. So, Snatched, very interesting film. Take care, everybody.